Welcome to Inside Stillwater. I'm your host, Jared Johnson. We have a big election coming up here in Stillwater on April 7th. Many debates, meet and greets, and other campaign events have led up to this mayoral election. We thought it would be a great idea to bring in each candidate and let them introduce themselves and express what issues they feel need to be addressed in Stillwater. Here with me now is candidate Gina Noble. Gina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jared, and thank you and your class for doing this.
Oh, we're happy to do it. It's a great service to be able to let people know who their candidates are. Speaking of letting them know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I am a mom. Actually, I'm a single mom. I have raised my son here. He's a senior in high school. I am a city councilor. I am a professor in the School of Media and Strategic Communications, and I stay active in the community. I've lived here 15 years.
That's great. So what led you to get involved in, city government?
Well, city government affects our lives probably more than any other form of government. And so it's important to stay informed, and I just thought that at this time in my life I had the opportunity, I had the time. My son was getting older and he really wanted me to run 2 years ago, and I thought I had something to offer, so I got involved.
Well, we appreciate you getting involved. How important is it for regular citizens to get involved with their community and their government?
Well, it's really important to have a voice in your government, and we're elected to represent citizens' voices. So staying informed and letting us know what you want, what you need, that's the only way we know what you want, is if you tell us. So that we can do a better job if people contact us and are involved.
Well, as we know, citizen participation and communication within the community is extremely important. However, sometimes finding channels of communication can seem difficult. Jasmine Sievert, one of our own reporters, has a little bit more on this story.
Less than 9% of Stillwater's 22,000 registered voters voted in the last city council election. That is one area of citizen participation that Stillwater residents have had low turnout. However, that is not the only area. Mayor John Bartley says to have a proper and strong city government, it is crucial to have involvement by residents, which has not been near the number the city needs. There are always different demands by the residents, but Bartley says the government won't know if there is no communication between both parties.
It's a two-way street. City's got to be able to provide information, ask questions, but citizens and residents need to actually look for that information, get that information, and then respond when it's requested, or maybe even more importantly, even when it's not requested.
To get involved and make your voice heard, sometimes it's as easy as walking through the door and attending a city council meeting. But it's not always that cut and dry. Secretary of Wedgewood's Homeowners Association, Bill Clare, says he feels not all areas of town are viewed equally.
We kind of feel, being on the east side of town, that they pay more attention to the west side of Stillwater than they do here. I'd like to see more involvement. That's why I'm in the Homeowners Association, because this is our own little area and we try to keep it nice, but the rest of the city is kind of difficult.
Homeowners associations like Claire's help provide a channel of communication, but the associations represent less than half of Stillwater homeowners. Fortunately, elected officials are ready and in place to serve all of the Stillwater community.
Our job's not to make everyone happy, but our job's also not to make everyone mad. Our job is to make sure that the city is providing what people need and want.
There's a constant mandate for the city to do better with communication to its residents, but there must continue to be resident feedback. For Inside Stillwater, I'm Jasmine Sievert.
Well, one big opportunity to get involved is coming up on April 7th in that mayoral election. We're hoping people will get out and vote. Gina, tell viewers how they can get involved in government and reach out.
It's easy to reach out. You can go to the city's website, and all of the city councilors' email are listed on that site. My cell phone is also listed on that site so people can get a hold of me. I really do. I value public input. They can also reach out by signing up to become a member of a committee or a board, just getting involved in anything that they're passionate about. When we have people who are passionate about the city, we can move the city forward.
Mm-hmm. What efforts do you have planned to try to reach out from, if you were elected, to reach out to the citizens?
One thing I really want to do is create what I'm going to call a homeowners association and neighborhood group association, where we have leaders from each neighborhood. We have so many great diverse neighborhoods in Stillwater. If we had a leader from each on a committee that would meet at City Hall and would tell city councilors what they're thinking, what they want, what they see. It's a great way to communicate because those leaders can take back the information to all of the residents, and it's also a great way to know what people in Stillwater need and want. So it's a great, I think that that's one of the first things I want to do.
That's great. Well, in this small town, big things are about to happen, so it's really important that we have community involvement. We sent our reporter Maddie Cunningham out to look at what plans the city has.
Stillwater, Oklahoma, USA, where Oklahoma began. Within the city stands a sturdy population that is constantly growing, a booming university that holds nationwide recognition, and a progressing community that is adding new activities and shops every year.
What it really boils down to is making sure that the project is identified, it's going to benefit the community, and we try and work it into the budget process. All too often, the public doesn't share what they feel unless there's a problem. And I think a lot of people have a strong comfort level with how the city is running, and so there isn't a lot of feedback from people.
But despite the lack of voice need from the public for new expansion, the city is still very much concerned about the upkeep of the town.
We know that as a city, we really have a primary responsibility to do for citizens what they can't do themselves.
New projects are created and implemented every year, whether or not the public realizes it.
Right now, what we have going on in Stillwater, we have a continuation of several important projects, and it really is just the improvements. We have what's called the STEP plan, which is the Stillwater Transportation Enhancement Plan, and we have a Trails plan, which have both been developed but have never been fully funded.
One of the many projects that the City of Stillwater has been continuously working on includes the addition of several long-standing businesses in historic downtown. The Downtown Stillwater Mixed-Use Development Project is used to benefit both residents and business owners alike.
Of all the things I hear from people, the two big ones of what I hear from people of what they'd like to see in Stillwater is a new movie theater and a Target store. So I can tell you right now, the city is working hard and wants both of those to occur.
The city's #1 goal, though, is to make the public happy so that it may continue community growth and population retention in Stillwater.
We have very high expectations in Stillwater for our schools, our streets, our culture, our sports, our everything. I mean, in an ideal situation, you would come to Stillwater, enjoy your time at OSU, recognize Stillwater as a really progressive Oklahoma town, I'll say that, and come back to raise your family here, come back to live, come back to have a job. It's a great city.
For Inside Stillwater, I'm Maddie Cunningham.
Thanks, Maddie. We appreciate that report. Well, there are a lot of big things that citizens want. You heard, the current mayor talk about a movie theater and a Target store and whatnot. What kind of plans do you have to try to improve Stillwater?
Well, we definitely need to pass the 2016 half-cent sales tax. That goes toward roads and mobility issues, and I hope for more bike lanes and more sidewalks. We also need to work on the water infrastructure, absolutely need to work on economic development, attracting businesses, new diverse businesses that pay living wage jobs, and keeping the talent pool here. OSU produces great students. We need to keep them here to live, work, and play, and also helping existing businesses grow.
Thank you. Well, one last question as we wrap up. Why do you think voters should vote for you as opposed to your opponent?
I've been on the Stillwater City Council for the past 2 years, and I've been active on many of the committees. I know what's going on. I can transition seamlessly from city councilor to mayor. I'm an independent thinker. I'm motivated to do this job. I have the desire, I have the energy for the next 3 years, and I'm a problem solver, and I do my homework.
We sure appreciate you getting involved. Want to wish you the best of luck in the election, and thank you so much for joining us on this program. I think it's really important for the citizens to get a chance to see and hear from the people that they may be voting for.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, coming up next, don't go away, we'll have our next candidate for mayor, Chuck Hopkins, joining us here in the studio. Stay tuned, don't go away. We'll be right back after this brief message.
You may be asking yourself, who are these people? I'm here to tell you they're teachers, graphic designers, photographers, they're students. What's the one thing that brings all of these people together? It's the bicycle. My name is Bobby Wintle, and my wife Crystal and I own District Bicycles in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Crystal and I started District Bicycles out of a love for people, out of a love for bikes, and we knew that there was something inside of us that said, there's something more. There's something more that we have to share, and there's something more that we know we can help grow somewhere. District is a synonym for community, and we wouldn't want our shop to look and feel any different than it does right now in this moment. And we're really lucky that we get to say that. We have this huge family now of cyclists that help each other, help us out, we help them out. And so seeing this transition of the bicycle is the one common denominator, the all-encompassing connector between all of us. I love that. I love people more than I love anything, and if it weren't for people, then we wouldn't have all these things. We wouldn't have bikes. We wouldn't have the opportunities that we have to have the experiences that we have. We take customers and we allow them to put their hands into a bike where a lot of other bike shops don't allow that. We don't force it. We don't say, hey, we're going to build you a custom bike. You really need to come in and try this out. If they want to come and sit, hang out on the couch, hang out at the bar at the shop, and just watch, they can do that. But if they want to really dig in deep and see what these tools are and why they are what they are and how they work, I'm completely for that. And that's one of my favorite things to do with customers and friends alike, is show them this is how the bike works. This is why it is what it is. We are dedicated to Stillwater. We're dedicated to this community that we built. We are District Bicycles.
Welcome back to Inside Stillwater. I'm your host, Jared Johnson. Well, we've introduced you to one candidate for mayor. Here with me now is our second candidate, Chuck Hopkins. Chuck, how are you?
I'm doing very well this morning, thank you.
We sure appreciate you joining us on the show.
You're welcome very much.
Well, let's start off with an easy question to have you introduce yourself just briefly to the viewers.
I grew up in Okmulgee County, graduated from Morse High School, attended Connor State College, went in the Air Force 4 years, came back to OSU, finished my master's and doctor's degree, taught 6 years in Nowata County, and moved to Stillwater, and I've been here since 1966. So
that's great. Tell us about some of your experience in the governing process here in Stillwater.
Well, I've been on the council for 6 years. I termed out last April, and I decided after a year layout that I'd like to run for mayor. I worked for the Oklahoma Department of Career Tech for 30 years, so have a very good understanding of Stillwater and the governance.
Mm-hmm. Well, we appreciate your service, and you and I had a chance to talk a little bit earlier and talk a little bit about some of the issues that you thought were important, and one of those was the water infrastructure. Can you tell us what's going on there?
Sure. The water infrastructure has been a problem for ever since I've been on the council and even before. The pipe is old. Some of it is when Stillwater was built and still there. And we have a 40-mile pipeline running from the Caw Lake here to the Stillwater. And that was put in I believe, 1973, and it has a 35-year life expectancy. We've tested it and everything looks good presently, but we still got a plan for the future.
Yeah, that's great. Well, the water infrastructure is not really at the forefront of residents' minds all the time, but it sure does affect them. And it's becoming a topic that needs to be talked about a little bit more. So we sent out our reporter, Geraldine Blaine, to the Stillwater's utilities to begin the conversation.
With a city of more than 47,000 residents, water is an important utility in Stillwater. About 7 million gallons gets pulled from the Caw Lake Reservoir every day. To get to the city and its residents, that water has to travel through a series of pipes, Stillwater's water infrastructure. This intricate network of pipes is rarely at the front of citizens' minds, but they benefit from it every day.
Our water system is something that we will continually be upgrading, continually be replacing, and we've got to keep going on it. Right now, unfortunately, we're going to be paying for the sins of our fathers that did not replace the water system over the last 50 to 80 years.
A challenge Stillwater and many other municipalities face is the time and resources that must be devoted to upgrading the system. It isn't a process that can happen overnight. A lot of planning and coordination has to go into pulling off such an undertaking.
Money and human resources were available, it would still take like a decade, and it would be like perhaps millions to $1 billion.
This is just one example of one of Stillwater's aging water infrastructures. It took Stillwater Utilities over a week to get it out of the ground. Stillwater's Water 2040 plan is designed to replace old broken down pipes like these. Water 2040 is focused on improving water pressure in Southwest Stillwater, but the plan also includes improvements to the central system as a whole, which should benefit all of the city's residents.
A water system is an ever-growing living organism that is going to change and adapt and be added onto over time, not only with the size of the population growing and demand on the water system growing, but also in the change of technology.
Stillwater's water infrastructure will continue to expand as the city grows. Whichever direction Stillwater heads, its citizens will always need access to water for its daily life. For Inside Stillwater, I'm Geraldine Blaine.
Thanks, Geraldine. Well, the water infrastructure is an ongoing problem that Stillwater has been dealing with for the last several years. To get further details about Water 2040 plan, visit stillwater.org under City Projects and Initiatives. Chuck, what do we have to do to keep up with the times and to keep good, clean water coming into Stillwater homes?
Well, the infrastructure is old in the city of Stillwater, and so we have to replace almost every pipe in the old city to be able to do that. We also have got to bring fresh water from Caw Lake, and so we're concerned about that. Now we're working in the southwest part of town because pressure is a problem to the residents in those areas. So it's a major activity that's underway to get more volume and more pressure to southwest Stillwater. That doesn't mean that the other parts of Stillwater don't have a problem, because they do, because of the age of the pipe. Right. And so drive down any street in Stillwater in the summertime, if it hadn't been a new pipe put in, you'll find lots of breaks.
And part of the problem with upgrading that infrastructure is the funding. Where does all the funds come from?
We had a study conducted in '07, and that was called the Beck study, which gave the council some information on what we would need to do to get everything that has been identified taken care of over a 40-year period. And that called for an increase in rates for a period of 5 years, and then it would level off, and the money then would be available to fix the system by 2040. I understand at the present time that the cost of doing that may have increased, and so currently the city council is looking at another rate increase.
Well, that's not the only problem that we talked about. One that is recognizable by the residents are our roads. And the road conditions in Stillwater continue to be a hot topic in the upcoming mayor election. Reporter Natalie Price has more on the current road reconstruction efforts.
If you've driven on the roads in Stillwater lately, you have probably noticed the continuous construction. Over the past years, the City of Stillwater has been focusing on 4 primary strategies to improve the roads around town. These areas include preventative maintenance, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and deferred maintenance. The road reconstruction has been made possible due to the half-penny sales tax that was first passed in 2001 and then renewed for 10 years in 2006. Mayor John Bartley is concerned about the end of the 10 years quickly approaching.
All the projects that tax money was voted on to do are either done, and then the Country Club and Highway 51, that's the last one. So all that money is spent. No more projects from that sales tax money. And last year we touched almost 70 lane miles of roads through this program, whereas in the past we were touching about 4.
The good thing about road reconstruction is that it's only temporary. So when you see signs like this, you should be excited for the road ahead.
You all need to get used to these. And every time you see one, you need to smile, because that equals progress.
The construction on Country Club Road has been in progress since November 2014. This 4-month project has caused many ups and downs for the local businesses on that road. Cody Challoner from Life Church is looking forward to the completion of the road.
We are super excited about what's coming with the construction of the road. You know, it was a barrier for folks for so long. And just with the growth of Stillwater, specifically westward, the quality of the roads didn't keep up with the growth of Stillwater. And so we are super excited to see a gigantic leap forward.
This past year, the City Council proposed an extension of the half-penny sales tax, and it was not passed.
The first thing is we need to get onto the ballot an extension of that half-cent sales tax and vote in favor of that. The second is to tell the City Council and city staff that the quality of the roads, that they have noticed a difference in the last couple of years. They've seen the projects that we're doing, and the new programs we're putting in place are working.
In order to continue construction and maintenance of the roads, the city will need to be able to financially support it. For Inside Stillwater, I'm Natalie Price.
We can visit stillwater.org as well for more information about the road reconstruction projects that are currently being done in Stillwater. Chuck, how difficult has it been to keep up with the roads? What are the challenges there?
It is extremely difficult because, again, of the age of the roads that we have. And with operating the city on sales tax and revenue from the electric and water, that it's hard to get the resources that's needed because of the many spots in the city we need to repair the roads. We voted a sales tax, half-cent sales tax in '06, I believe, to fix the roads, but that expired. It's going to expire in 2016. The other element on that is that the city voted to allow, the residents voted to allow the city to borrow money ahead to fix the roads so that you could get the whole road fixed rather than just parts of it each year. And so they used up all that money by 2007 when I first came on the council. And now then, I think the last 2 projects that's funded with the tax is the intersection of Western and Hall of Fame, and doing Country Club down past the bridge. And so we're needing more revenue. We could vote bond issues for that, but looking at sales tax and the operation of the city, it's extremely difficult to find it. Roads are expensive to build.
Yeah. So roads and water have been some things that we've talked about. Can you give me very briefly some other goals that you'd like to accomplish as mayor?
Sure. We have an electric generating plant I'd like to see built. I want to work on economic development. I still think that's a big issue. I think that we need to look at how we want to have the downtown Stillwater looking in the future. We need to look at quality of life issues, and we need to look at the safety factors that we have. And our sewer system is needing more input also from resources and dollars. Thanks. So those are just a few of the things. I could sit here all day.
Yeah. And just one last question. What do you think sets yourself apart from your candidate? Why should voters vote for you as opposed to her?
Well, I've been in this community for over 40 years, almost 50 years. And I know the community. My background and experience, I've had lots of leadership activities at every level, both federal, state, and local. I know how the governing system works. I think I'm a proving leader. I have the knowledge. And so I believe that looking at that I would be a very good candidate for mayor.
Well, we sure appreciate you joining us on the show today, and wish you best of luck in the election.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll be right back after this brief break to wrap up the show and kind of break down the main points that each candidate has discussed today. Stick with us. We'll be back after this.
Community is, it's the entire town and the area surrounding it. It's those who come together with a similar values, similar interests. And in our case, it's those who are interested in Stillwater's history, our culture, preserving it, presenting it. Community of history and culture. We've been here for 40 years, founded by the Arts and Humanities Council originally, and in 1974 we opened our doors. We have exhibits that talk about our prehistory of the area, the native tribes that traveled through the area. Our history through the years, everything from businesses to agriculture, transportation. Of course, the university is tied very closely to both of those. We have an auditorium that seats about 200 people, and it's used for a lot of different purposes. Whatever way that the facility works with the community, how they may want to take advantage of what we have to offer, I try to accommodate that, and as long as it will benefit the mission and the purpose of our organization as well.
Welcome back to Inside Stillwater. I'm your host, Jared Johnson. Today we spoke with both mayoral candidates, Gina Noble and Chuck Hopkins. Noble discussed the importance of citizen involvement and how it can positively influence a community. She also expressed her desire to increase entertainment options here in Stillwater. Hopkins brought up water infrastructure and how we need to upgrade existing water delivery systems. Hopkins also agrees that the roads in Stillwater are in constant need of improvement and discussed his desire to build an electric power generation system that serves Stillwater. Both candidates are looking forward to the election. Well, don't forget to vote in the final election come Tuesday, April the 7th. For more information on where to vote, contact the Payne County Election Board. Thank you for watching Inside Stillwater.